Jon Kabat-Zinn's definition of mindfulness, I think, is the clearest, which is paying attention on purpose, in a particular way, and without judgment. We can give parents the tool of mindfulness so they themselves can stay more present and less reactive in the face of the dysregulation of their loved one or of their child.
To me, mindfulness is about being present and being aware and being in the moment. So it's about acknowledging your feelings, acknowledging, you know, your body, your mental space, your mental well-being in that moment. And, you know, just really just sitting with those emotions and being aware.
And so having a dysregulated teen is tough for parents, but parents, the way they respond, are going to have an impact on their kids.
What mindfulness, I think, practice teaches us is how to be able to focus on whatever it is that you want to focus on in the midst of chaos.
I was thinking about this, which skills do I use most? And they are mindfulness and noticing. And if I can pay attention to what's happening in the moment, and if I can notice what he's doing or not doing, what he's saying or not saying, or how he's saying it, then I can be more effective.
Mindfulness tells you how to notice what's happening. And we can self-validate, boy, this is really hard. It's really heated right now. What do I want to do with this? How do I want this to go? So if you practice mindfulness a lot, mindfulness allows you to focus back on using the skills that work.
For me, it was more about being mindful in the relationship. Noticing, oh, are my shoulders going up to my ears? Because that's definitely like a sign of me becoming dysregulated myself. There's this feeling as a parent that you have to be able to cope with everything, right? I have to be able to take everything that's going, and being mindful and going, oh, actually, I can't take everything. Actually, I need to take a break and come back to this.
Mindfulness, I use a lot. You know, I start to feel really, I start feeling really anxious and like, you know, like on the edge of like dissociation when you get really, really anxious, and it can help to, you know, stop. And I start naming things around me. Is, you know, I'll choose a color, be like, okay, I need to look at everything blue, and I need to say it out loud. And that really helps me, and that's something that I do to my kids as well when they're really in a tantrum. Like, okay, we need to stop, and can you tell me everything blue in the room? And that can help them calm down.
Yeah, mindfulness is all about being in the moment, right? So not thinking about what's happened in the past, so or not future tripping about what might happen in the future, right? Mindfulness allowed us to get ourselves under control so we could help her better.
Mindfulness is sort of being present in the moment, not bringing in, you know, the history, like, oh, here we go again, that kind of thing, which is sometimes it's easy to do that as a parent, right? Especially when you've seen them do the same thing over and over. Sometimes maybe even just taking a few deep breaths ourselves to sort of help ground ourselves. Because, you know, we can get worked up too, right? So, you know, staying in the moment, keeping ourselves grounded, as well as helping them stay grounded.
When I am mindful of my daughter's perspective, when I can empathize and see her point of view in a situation, understanding of her point of view and of being able to come to some kind of consensus, not forcing my point of view, not just judging and forcing my point of view, but actually incorporating my daughter's point of view in that situation and trying to move forward from that.
But like just being in the conversation, like being present was really big for me. For me in my household, I put my laptop down, I close it, and I put my phone and I turn it upside down when I'm talking to my loved one, because just that action within itself shows her that I'm there, that I'm in the conversation.
And then I can remember another time where we were talking, shall I say, and the words that were coming out of her mouth were words that typically people don't like to hear. And they were at a really high volume. So I'm trying to use non-judgmental words, right? And in that moment, that's how I was thinking about them. And they were just splashing. And I was looking at her and I was thinking, oh my God, she's so beautiful. And I love her brown eyes and I love her high cheekbones. That was a funny moment because she kept going and then she just stopped mid-sentence of a pretty strong word. And then she looked at me and I was like, and then she started laughing and then we started laughing and she didn't feel judged or wrong or bad.
Mindfulness to me is noticing. Just noticing what my loved one is doing, being in the moment. Be there and listen. Without mindfulness, I would not be able to listen because I was just having a dialogue with myself.
You know, the level of creativity that families bring, the level of support and engagement that family bring is different from, you know, families who don't have these kinds of challenges.
I can't imagine what I would have done without learning these skills.